wait till 1 second to listen to the door. So funny. I never thought you'd come back. I'm telling you. Of course.
That was 2 days ago.
Oh, so now you feel fine? Sit right here.
All right.
No, where you're sitting. I think I should just come out, but now we're back in. Oh,
They just walk to the brain?
Well, yeah, that's your call. How are you?
This is mine. Sixth grade.
Maybe Chanel.
You could say either one. I heard it. I didn't have the first name. I don't know. Right. Right. She has a lot of friends there. All her friends are there. Right. Yes. Yeah. We're waiting for the gas line. And we
Go by every couple of days.
I know, I see you there. I'm hoping we fail the first inspection. Possible, yes.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining us, special guests. Dear Talmidim, we're here to make a special siyum in honor of our very, very dear friend for many, many years, Dr. Hahn. All of us as adults knew him very well. Tremendous loss for the community. We feel it's appropriate to make a siyum on his yard site, which is today. Before I begin, I wanted to just say a special welcome to all our guests. I don't know everybody, I know most of the people, I don't know everybody. Welcome everybody. But special to our dear friend, Mrs. Rothenberg. Mrs. Rothenberg is someone who most of the Talmidim do not know, but for many years, her husband, Al Shalom, was very involved, instrumental in helping us reach the milestone of building Torah in North Miami Beach, of acquiring a building, one building, two buildings, the first campus, second campus, and we owe a tremendous special debt of gratitude because he was so caring, so wanting, so motivated to help us make sure North Miami Beach becomes a Makom Torah with the yeshiva, with a bona fide, big, large yeshiva like they have now. So I know it's not always easy for Mrs. Rothman to come to join us, but she made a special effort when she heard about the siyum in honor of her dear departed Dr. Hahn, and we thank you for coming. We should see you many more times. I want to say a short Dvar Torah. I'm not the main speaker today, but just a short Dvar Torah because I think something stands out and popped out at me from this week's parsha about Dr. Hahn, Chonu Rocha. This famous pasuk, famous Rashi at the end of the parsha. The pasuk says, "Hashem did not give you." Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to Klal Yisrael. Hashem did not give you Ogev Ladas, V'nam Yeros, no heart, no eyes to understand, smart people. Al Hayom Hazeh. What was so special this day? Right? Pasuk doesn't say what happened that day. Rashi comes to help us out. Shamati, I heard that was the day when Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Sefer Torah to Bnei Levi. Bnei Levi was the teachers of Klal Yisrael, the future teachers. Says, Levi, you're in charge. Take the Sefer Torah, run with it, teach Torah. What happened? Klal Yisrael got nervous. They came and said, Moshe Rabbeinu, we were also part of Klal Yisrael, part of Sinai. We have Sinai. We got the Torah also. Why are you picking Levi over the rest of us? What's going to be if down the road? What might happen? Levi might say, it's our Torah, it's not for you guys, just for us. They might steal it, they might hide the Torah for themselves. And we're concerned about that. When Moshe Rabbeinu heard that, he told them, he said, this pasuk, Hashem has not given you the wisdom and the eyesight I see until now. I know now, Hayom Hazeh Hivanti, I understand today, Sh'atem Devekim V'chapesim B'makom. Now the test, you've passed all the tests and you've proven yourself as people who really want Hashem, you really want Torah. This was what the greatest indicator. And the question of both is like, what happened until now? Klal Yisrael went ahead, they were said Nasa v'Nishma, they followed HaKadosh Baruch Hu out of Mitzrayim to Eretz Lo Zerua. They love Hashem, they believe in Hashem, they want Torah, they're most nefesh for Torah. What happened all of a sudden now? Rashi told us. I think that is because this was such a crazy concern, fear on their part. How possible is it that Bnei Levi, in generations down the road, will say, well, it's our Torah. Come on, everyone knows it's not true. It won't happen now. It happened in 1,000 years, in a couple of centuries. It's not going to happen now. What are you so concerned about? When Moshe Rabbeinu heard that they were concerned because there's 0.001 possibility of Levi taking the Torah, they were concerned, they were upset. We should guarantee that Torah is going to be here for us forever, not just for 100, not just for 1,000 years, forever. That indicates a true love for Torah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I think that's what drove Dr. Elliot Hahn. North Miami Beach was a nice community. It always was, still is, Baruch Hashem. The Makom Torah, a lot of from shuls at that time. Okay. Dr. Hahn was not happy with that. He wanted to make sure, he wanted to guarantee that Torah will be here forever. put his thoughts and his desire to action, put himself out to help build and build a Makom Torah, help buy, help build. What you see today exists. We have Baruch Hashem over 1,300 Talmidim. Wow. Dr. Elliot Hahn wanted to make sure. That was his driving force throughout his life. I want to make sure Torah exists. Hashem's Torah should exist, not only in the world, but here in North Miami Beach. We all have to be Makar Tov that. We appreciate that. You can't imagine what schar and schusim he gets as we speak right now. He's enjoying the fruits of his labor because he showed everybody, he taught us all what it means to be a lover, someone's dveikim, v'chafeisim amakom. That was Dr. Hahn. His memory should be a tremendous blessing, and this yeshiva should be is a tremendous schus for his neshama. I would like to call upon my dear friend, Dr. Elias, Over Shalom, dear friend, Brother Chaim, Rabbi Moshe Bern, to make a seat. All yours, Moshe.
Okay, Messiah, Seth Moe Katai. More than the Masach says, Rabbi Levi, Kol Yotzi, Mi Beis HaKnesses, the Beis HaMedrash, and he goes from a shul to a Beis Medrash to the Beis HaKnesses. Zocha Mekabel Pnei Shechina is Zocha to get the Shechina. Shnever Yelchem Echai Rechai Yireh Elokim B'Tzion. And it says very similar. It says Amar Chiyah Barashem Barah Talmidei Chachamim. Talmidei Chachamim ain't have Menucha. Don't have any rest. I feel Olam Haba. They don't have any rest even in Olam Haba. Shnever Yelchem Echai Rechai Yireh Elokim B'Tzion. Pashup Shah probably is that, of course, there is some Menucha, but because they have the same way they learned vigorously in this world, they're going to continue doing the same thing in the next world. It's really, of course, apropos. People who knew Elliot, knew how much he learned. He had three Siddharma every single day religiously, even towards the end, but always, and of course, how much it was Mashal Torah, which goes without saying, how much he built, and we wouldn't be here without him. Okay, so we'll do the Hadron. Hadron of Sex Moy Kat, Hadron Chalon. Daita Chalon Sex Moy Kat, and Daita Chalon. Los Nis Shem Enoch Sex Moy Kat, and Lo Nis Shem Enoch. Lo Blam the name, Lo Blam Nasi. Yerusom Bracha, and Right Lin Lab, Sina Shetay, Toraska, and Nusainable Mazah, say Manu Lolam Ba. Hanini Papa, Raman Papa, Hanan Papa, Achim Papa, Abamari Bar Papa, Rafram Bar Papa, Rox Bar Papa, Servo, Papa, Ada Papa, Dara Papa. Harab not another way to race with some copy Israel. Yeah, Colonu, Anach, the sense of copy Israel. Colonu, they shall not lace or self Lishma. May fight some made with stuff, he lolom he lead. He be some crackle man lo evosh. Lam lo eshkat pedaka, Kivam, Pisani, Roka, and Ryan, Daka, Amen, Sel, Papa, and Modim and Fanaka, and Night Lindley, I was saying. Shesamto Fakinim Yoshi based on Midrash, Lo Samto Fakinim Yoshi Karanas, Shanamashkim Vehemashkim, Aramashkim the Derby, Kara Hemashkin the Derby Tail, Anamil Vehim Mamil, Anamil Vehim Safar, Hemamin Vehim Safar, Anamrat Vehim Rat, Anamrat Mukhayam Ba, Ratam Verashaka, Shamrata, the Winter, Redin Verashakas, Anchi Dam Mirma, Lo Yaktu Mem, Vandia Tatwak, Yurtov Naka, and Rai Lai. It shapes as a tiny side, says my cousin came to Hassan Sets, Svarmakel, Simon, Lil Model Lambid. Lishmalastos, the Kaims called the Resar, Tumble to herself, Biava, Skus called Tanoim, Bamram, Salmadi, Khamiamu, the Zari, Shlo, Samash, Torah B, Zari, Zari Adolam, this Kayim B, Zelka Tank, Khal, Saf, Shapka, Tishmar Lecha, Sosa, he's Kaki, Vimir, Method, Yosif, the Khanajos Kayim, Orach, Minos, Mullah, Osher Khabra, and Rais, Mamoitina, and I press You want to start out the Hayaz Messiah, Sakal Yasan Hayalma, the Bay Cartel Slave, loving above, the Carpa Hanan, the Problem Ara, Sabrakas, Bakaradi Shemaila, Asray, Amlit, the Shabri, Klum, Civic Ray, Haikar, Kamakai, the Hobbies, Israel, Baglovs, Margaret, and Rame. Maya, Isra, Visaba, Vispar, Visarman, Visnase, Visador, Visala, Visalosh, made to the shop, Rilko, we cover Kasam, Shurasaj, Kasam, Nachmasad, Rame, Rame, Isra, Rabban, Rabban, Medea, call Tamade, some day, Kalman, the asking your rights, the Divasar, the Kolasar, Vasar, Eloham, the Shalom Rabba, Kingdom, Kisarach, Bein, Chainer, Rilay, Zar, Rilay. from Panam Vunim Shmai from Rame, Ishlam Ram Shmai, Vachayim Alinu Koyisrael from Rame, Shalom Ram Yasser, Shalom Alinu Koyisrael from We have a very special privilege today. I thought I would do the introduction, probably because I have the longest relationship, but with Rabbi Sprong. Just, I thought it's important everyone to understand, for the reason in general why we have this Siyum, aside from Hahn Siyum, is really we thought it's a benefit to everybody, especially Talmidim, to know we came from somewhere. It didn't just start this yeshiva, it didn't happen this year. There's a lot of work that went into it for many people on many years, and of course that's we're here with Eli. But we have a special privilege today to have Rabbi Sprong. Now, many people who don't know, but Rabbi Sprong came to, and his wife Robinson came in the early '80s to South Florida. Rabbi Sprong was really helped set the pillar and the stage of everything we're benefiting from long before a lot of what we see is today. Rabbi Sprong really was the forefront of elevating all the kashrus in South Florida. He started the first Yomi. Now everybody learns Yomi, but it didn't have to happen then. And Sprong also gave multiple shiurim all around. In charge of the Eruv, Tomchei Shabbos. This came from Rabbi Sprong. That's what Rabbi said. Just one piece in context everyone should know, aside from all the work Rabbi Sprong, the Rebbe said he used to bring down the Shver every year. Miami didn't used to have the opportunity to have so many. Miami wasn't on the map and so much, and we didn't really have the gold coming through. But Rebbe always brought every Sukkot and Pesach our father, Rosh Yeshiva Yisrael, Yaakov Arbus Zatzal, and we had a tremendous privilege, the community of getting to know him. But befrat, my family, first I got to sit next to the Rosh Yeshiva. We had Sidarim, and what sticks in my mind the most, I remember the last real time was when you had me speak, and he gave me about a piece, the Briskarov and Arbakosos. I remember hacking, and we were going in. He said, "Yes, my father, you're giving Moshe 2 hour times." He's like, "No, you should do more." And it was really special. So just the context, really, a lot of the community that we're benefiting from is through the work of the Rabbi said. He had a tremendous relationship with the Hahns going back, and I thought it was something really special for us to have Rabbi Sprong on. I called him. He was all too happy to come, so we're so excited to have Rabbi Sprong come and address us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ramesh Akiva. Shis Choshev Rosh Yeshiva, Lil, even Shlomi, and all the dear friends and Talmidim, this wonderful Mosad Torah, in which Eliot Olav Shalom and Lil, Yibad L'chaim Baruchim V'Tovim, have played such a mainstay of a part in this continued support that I'm sure will continue for many, many, many years, until we're all in Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh. This week's Sedra of Kisava, which the Gemara explains to us, is always read specifically prior to the Yomim Naraim, so that we should have the klalos and we should have the brachos. understanding that which we are being challenged with, that which we are facing, and that which ultimately all of us wish for ourselves. The pasuk states as follows regarding the brachos. And all the brachos of prosperity, the brachos of children, the brachos of wealth, the brachos of health, all of them will be bestowed upon you by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then we have the rather strange terminology of v'hisigucha. The word v'hisigucha is understood by the Sfarno as meaning that even though you will not be mishtadel, even though you will not try necessarily to receive them, you will. Targum Onkelos, on the other hand, learns v'hisigucha as referring specifically v'yit bekunach, that they will cling to you. And probably all of you. I'm not referring to the Rabbeim. But probably all the Talmidim who are sitting here today, if I would ask them to teach the pasuk, to explain the pasuk, they would say, all of these blessings should be found upon you, should come, v'hisigucha, and they'll catch up to you. Which would be literally correct. V'hisigucha really means to overcome. So Lashon is the language of conquest, as it were, which poses its own difficulty of, really? When was the last time you saw someone running away from brachos? When was the last time you saw people fleeing blessings that were chasing after them in order to grab onto them, to latch onto them? What's pshat v'hisigucha? So I saw brought down very interestingly, Shlomo Yosef Zevin Zatzal, the Mechaber, the ultimate editor of the Encyclopedia Talmudis. He was a musmach of none less than the Aruch HaShulchan and the Rabbit Shavarav. He brings down in the name of the Kotzka. If someone poses question to the Kotzka, v'hisigucha by brachos, we don't have to be chased by blessings. We run toward blessing. And he said in the name of the Kotzka, when the Kotzka was posed the very same question, he replied, V'azai, we need to understand it as we understand the Perush of the Ravid on the Rambam, the commentary of the Ravid. Now I would assume and hope that all of you have seen a Ravid during the course of your lifetime. And you'll know that the Ravid, of course, was written by the Ravid on the Rambam, disagreeing with him at times vehemently, with language that we would not expect to find in a Rishon. So what does it have to do with the Ravid? Said the Kotzka, explained on 7. They weren't simply questions. It's not referred to as the Perush of a Ravid, it's referred to as Hasagas HaRavid. Because the Ravid was posing questions on the Rambam in a formidable attack, as it were. And he was doing so, minei mibei, from the words of the Rambam himself, leaving the reader, as it were, with a question or an ultimate conclusion that would side with himself. Said Rav Zevin Zatzal. He said, you know what pshat is? You will be blessed, Kadosh Baruch Hu says to Klal Yisrael, inestimably, with every kind of bracha that can be bestowed upon you by the Almighty. But v'hisigucha, but understand well that brachos in life at times could actually inspire their own questions on the recipient himself. Meaning this: if one of the Bachrim misses a minyan in the morning, I imagine somebody notices first and foremost, and somebody asks him later during the day or the next day, listen, we missed your minyan, did you see him in me? Where were you? Should he reply, I wasn't feeling well, I was sick? Okay, end of discussion. It's understandable. But what about a person who responds, you know, I was at a chasana last night and it ran so late and I was just dead tired? What about the Baal Simcha, a father of the chasana or the kallah, who misses minyan the morning after he's made a wedding, and his response to HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately is, I was up so late. V'hisigucha means the Ribbon Shalom looks at that person and says, really? Really? I gave you a bracha being able to make a chasana to accompany a child to the chuppah. You were waiting so many years for your daughter to get married. So many years to have a shidduch like this for your son. What a bracha I gave you. And this is the payback? This is the response? What about a family that's so blessed to have children or Einuklik over the home for a Shabbos or Yom Tov meal, and lunch goes way long, and the Balabas, who normally is Kaveh Itim and attends the rabbi shir in the afternoon, he misses the shir. Because they were sitting, they were schmoozing, it was kvelling, such nachas. V'hisigucha. Kadosh Baruch Hu effectively comes and says, look at the family that I gave you. Look at the opportunity that I presented you. This is the payback? This is the hakaras hatov for the bracha. At times, brachas, in fact, can inherently raise questions upon all of us, upon the recipients. Let me tell you a little bit about Elliot Olav Shalom, of Eliyahu ben Yehuda, Zechron Lebracha. Elliot was many things. Many things. He was blessed with a prodigious mind. He was a brilliant scientist in his own right, a successful entrepreneur, inquisitive at every turn. And yet, simultaneously, and most importantly, as far as I am concerned, because I had discussed to have him both as a congregant, as a balabas, and as a friend. No matter what he achieved in life, he remained Elliot. He remained Elliot. And who was Elliot? Notwithstanding his accomplishments, notwithstanding his towering intellect, he was so loving. So loving. First and foremost, of course, of his beloved wife, that knew no bounds. And then, of course, his children, his Zeinekach, his grandchildren. He was a caring friend. And people have mentioned to me that they felt that that friendship was so real, and they never felt that despite him being a towering intellect, despite us having been so cerebral, he was always so caring, always so warm, always so much one of them, always so much part and parcel of that which was being engaged in. We shared different things with Elad Olav Shalom and Lil. We were at their table, and as Moshe Akiva mentioned, they were at our table when the Rosh Yeshiva would come for Pesach. And there was always Elias sitting there, listening to any and every word that the Rosh Yeshiva would speak, seeking to discern yet another lesson, another thought, another highway to journey upon, based upon his words. His love for learning has been mentioned, and it was on a weekly basis, ultimately more than that. He had a wonderful sense of humor. He would forever be opening the door for my Rebbitzin. Always. Ladies first, he would say, or giving her a candy. Okay? Give me a candy. And most importantly, of course, he had a very, very deep sense of achrayus. A deep sense of responsibility for both tzibur and Yochanan, an individual alike. For the tzibur, he felt an achrayus to build such a makom, to build such dormitories, to give such schumim, such sums of money, when such sums of money were simply not being given at the time by people whom you and I knew. It wasn't. Otherwise, you would have seen more names on buildings. And by the way, he and Lil gave it to the dormitories. Because the Beis Medrash, anyone who walks into Yeshiva gets to see the Beis Medrash and the Svarim shranks, and even the Chadar Ocha. What a beautiful dining room. Nobody has to see the dormitories unless you're a parent. But the dormitory is where a person sleeps. And even though it's true that when we're tending Yeshiva, the most important place is the Beis Medrash, but it's awfully nice to come back to a room where you feel like a mensch, and you feel comfortable, and you can get up energized in the morning, and you can go back to sleep on more than a straw mattress, and you don't have to sleep on a bench in the Beis Medrash. You know, in Europe, that's how the Talmidei Chachamim were made. Not here in the United States of America. The monies that were given for dormitories, specifically, in order that indeed that the Bachman should feel that someone is concerned for them. He had this for the tzibur at large in ways that were overt, and in so many ways that were covert in nature. And you would never see the names on the building. I had a balabayas in Shari Philip. It was a young guy, a young fellow, who simply couldn't manage to ever balance his budget. And I was speaking with him, and I said, I want to take you to someone. this person's going to put you on the straight and narrow. And I took him to Elliot. And Elliot said to me, you want me to give him money? I said, no, I don't want you to give him money. But teach him to take what he has and to use it appropriately. Because no matter how much you'll give him, it'll be gone within a week. Teach him how to create a budget and to live by a budget. I remember another individual in the community who had business problems. And Elliot Olav Shalom came to the rescue in significant ways. I remember a young Klei Kodesh who once approached Elliot explaining that he had a paltry sum of money to invest, but he didn't know the very first thing about investing. And not only did Elliot Olav Shalom tell him what to do, he co-opted that paltry sum into a business venture in which he was involved in order to make the younger man some money. And on paper, it wasn't even so permissive. I remember when I was talking to him, I told him I had just completed a sefer that I wrote on Taras Mishpacha. And I was going to take it to publishing. And by the end of the conversation, he made me personally feel like I was the greatest patron saint in permitting him to be a patron of the sefer. To dedicate the sefer in memory of his mother, Erna Lamish. You remember. What a warmth of a person so accomplished. What a vision of an individual so humble. What a brilliance of a person who indeed could have sequestered himself, could have effectively cut himself off from the community or moved to a different community. Any community in the world that he would have wished to have moved to, he and Lil could have moved. But he felt himself a part of this community. And he wanted to see the community grow in a form and a fashion that would be lahagdil Torah lahadira. That would ultimately be such a Kiddush Hashem and a driving force in the education of our kinderlich of all the children and all the younger life. This was the Elliot Olav Shalom that I knew, that I had the privilege of knowing. The embodiment, wisdom, seichel hayashar, warmth, congeniality, and a sense of vision. What a wonderful, wonderful person. Chaval of the Avnim v'lo Mishnachtim. Rebbeinu Shalom knows far better than all why he was taken from us so early. No one knows. But we certainly know that in those few years that he graced the face of our community and the earth with his wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Teres Habayis, he managed to accomplish so much. He's Zikra Baruch.
Just letting you know.
Are you making a speech?
No, we're done.
Zell? All right. Was there already reaction? Oh yes. Oh yes. Any open minutes? Okay.
They're just gonna match it.
Bernie.
Bernie.